Hi, welcome to my channel. Hope you enjoy this content. If you do, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Today we are going to be painting this beautiful boy bunny for Easter that's around the corner. So if you want to learn how to paint this cute bunny, stick around. Okay, so I've brought you a little closer. I want to show you what you need. So make sure you set up your creation station before you start this video so that you're ready to paint when we get started painting. Right, so first thing you're going to need is some towel paper, a rag, or really anything you can wipe your brushes on. A palette. I use this polystyrene palette because when I'm done I just throw it away. It's inexpensive and it's a nice big surface area to work on. I also have a cup with water and brushes. You don't need so many brushes. I just have them. It depends on what project I'm busy with at the time. So yeah, I've got a really big brush that's not really necessary. This is the normal big brush. So as long as you have a big brush and kind of a medium small brush, you should be fine. If you really like getting into small detail, then I would say a super small brush would be good. You can definitely try that out. And then of course you'll need your canvas. I've already traced mine. I do have a video on how to trace, and I've also added the tracer in the comments below. Excuse my stuttering. So I've added the tracer in the comments below, so you can go and grab that there, print it out and trace your painting. So a lot of people feel like tracing is cheating, but guys, let me tell you, even some of the most professional, well-known artists are tracing some of their subjects because at the end of the day, use the tools that you've got, sweetheart. I mean, if you can, why not? You know, if not, why not? All right, so we're going to get into it. The only paint colors that you need are the primaries. So red, yellow, blue, black, and white. That's all you're going to need. I just also wanted to mention that we do sell painting products. So brushes, paints, palettes, canvases, anything you need, you can buy from us online. We deliver to anywhere in South Africa, and we always try and be competitive pricing wise, so you can be sure to get the products and the supplies at good prices. Make sure you have a few grapes or a cup of coffee or something nice to drink. Make sure you got some snacks, some soft music in the background, and yeah, that you've got all your supplies ready to start painting. And yeah, we're going to dive in. Okay guys, I'm going to start with pouring my paints into my palette. As you can see, I've left the background plain and white. You are welcome to bring in a background. I would suggest that if you're going to bring in a background that you do so now. You can paint over your tracing, just make sure to keep it thin so that you don't paint away the tracing. So please also remember, with this class, you're welcome to change your bunny anyway. You can make a gray bunny, you could make a, I don't know, black bunny, pink bunny. Like really, you can go completely off the rails if you'd like. This is a very fun class, and you're free to do whatever comes to mind. With this bunny, and first of all, we always start with just a basic or base layer. I've wet my big brush and I've dried it off on the paper towel. And now I'm going to mix a brown because this bunny is brown. And the way we do that is by mixing red and yellow. Okay, so I'm going to take some red and yellow and I'm just going to mix it up. So see how I work on the edges of the colors, just so you don't get it contaminated. Okay, a little more yellow, get a nice orange. Okay, so it's a nice vibrant orange. And then we're going to add a bit of black. Okay, so you add a little bit of black, little bit, until you get the brown that you like. This is still a little bit red for me. So I'm going to add in some more black. How you guys doing? Are you doing well? I hope you're coming right. Remember, you can pause this video, you can stop it, you can fast forward it, you can rewind it. That's the beauty of painting virtually. You don't miss anything, you can just go back. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that color. I don't know if you guys can see it nicely. It's like a brownie, dark brownie color. If you want it a bit lighter, and for the base coat, I would suggest, so I'd add a bit of white. Okay, and now you get a light brown. Okay, and now the only thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the whole bunny where the brown should be. And it's okay if your brown doesn't come out exactly the way mine does. I mean, bunnies are all kinds of browns. As you can see, I'm using a big brush, but if you feel uncomfortable, swap over to your medium brush. I'm going to swap over in a second to get into all the finer spots. If it's your first time joining me, welcome. I really hope you enjoy this and that you'll be back for more. I also want to let you know to not stress and feel overwhelmed. Just have fun. Right guys, and that is the brown done. So now I'm going to do the ears, and we're again going to do just a base coat. So I'm going to mix a bit of a pink. So I've taken some red one side, I'm adding white and creating a pink, and I'm just going to paint the center of the ears. Don't overthink it, guys. I have had a lot of painters in the past that have overthought it. You know, we're on to the next step and they haven't done anything, and I'm like, what's happening? Why haven't you painted anything? And they're still sort of sussing it out. With painting, you just got to let go and just go for it. Okay, and you guys will probably see that I've gone over the brown a little bit with my pink. That's fine. Oh, what I wanted to say earlier is for those of you who are doing this for the first time, or those of you who have done it but a long time ago and you need a reminder, painting, especially in acrylic or with acrylic paint, actually with any medium, it's about layering and building. It's about adding and subtracting, meaning, you know, now I've gone over the brown, so I'm going to add some more brown. Subtracting is if you just doing it the other way around. So you're building on the subject the whole time. Okay, so let's do the eyes. Okay, so I'm just picking up some black, and we're just doing a base coat because these eyes would probably need about 2 or 3 coats. So just with the same brush, I just you don't need to really wash it off because it's a darker color, but I just wiped it and went into my black. If you want to, you can do those lashes now. Just be careful, work really thin. It's a very light pressure that you use. Okay, then I'm gonna do the nose area. So while we still have brown and it's still wet, I clean off my brush and add some more white to this brown. I want a really light brown. Almost wanted a little more orange. So I'm gonna grab some more orange, put that in there. Add some more whites. Like I said, I really want it nice and light, and we can always change it later. And then we're just going to fill in that diamond on the nose. So again, guys, just remember that this is still the base coat. We only go into the second coat once the whole bunny is covered. And then with the second coat, we really get into some detail. Okay, so I want to do the bow tie quickly. So we're going to do blue and yellow. Our painters run into each other, but that's fine. We'll just embrace it. Okay, so I'm mixing a green. So as you can see on the edge of the blue, I've taken some yellow to the edge of the blue, pulling in the blue and creating a beautiful green. Okay, because it's a base coat, what do? We add white. Okay, so we get sort of a chalky pastel green. That's not your final color, so don't stress about it. It is just to cover that canvas. Okay. If you guys enjoy these painting tutorials and you want to do a whole lot more, but you feel like supplies are really, really expensive, you can buy a canvas pad. So they are a lot cheaper than actually buying a canvas. But there are some places that have really good specials on their canvases. I did forget to mention that this one that I'm working on is just an A4, which is the size of print paper here in South Africa. So yeah, if you want to do anything bigger, you're more than welcome to. And then with the tracer that I have linked in the video at the bottom, you would just need to find an app online and just make it bigger, then make it according to your canvas. If you'd like to see a video on that, let me know and then I'll make a video for you guys. Okay, just filling in some brown that I've missed. Not much, just here and there. Okay, then I'm going to do the nose area, or the rest of the nose. I'm going to mix up a grey, so some white and a little bit of black. Okay, we're just doing it nice and light for now. We can always change it later. However, if you can get it going and or get the effect you want in one go, I mean, why not? I'm just going to fill in this area here. Okay, see, I've painted over my tracing, but I can still see through the paint. So I'm not going to stress about it. I just want to make this form neat. So there I have a bit of a darker grey, that's fine. I grabbed a bit of extra black by accident. And then just focus on the form again, getting that nice and neat. And then just filling that side. Okay. Okay, and that is done on that object or form. And now we're going to do the glasses. So lots of interesting colors that we're mixing today. But again, you guys can buy these specific colors as shortcuts and not need to mix them. Okay, so I've mixed my purple. Sorry, didn't record how I did it, but basically I just took some blue and some red, mixed a really dark purple, and then I'm going to add some white because it is a base coat. Over here you can now see that the purple is more on the reddish side, so I want to add some more blue and just cool it down a bit more. So it's all about experimenting and playing with the colors. A little more of this, a little more of that. Okay, I've got a purple I like. And now I want to paint the frame of the glasses. It doesn't have to be perfect, so don't let something like that bother you. In our second coat, we're going to go over it neatly and we're going to add in some highlights, and that's just going to take the focus away. Okay. And that is our base coat done, right? So our bunny is basically prepped and ready for the next stage. Okay, so what I want you guys to notice is here you can see there's sort of what do they call it? Like an ombre effect from dark to light or light to dark in the ear. So we're going to try and get that effect. So here you can see at the top it's a very, very light pink, lighter than this pink. So what I'm going to do is in my existing pink, I'm going to add some more white just to lighten it up a lot. A lot. Okay, so let's see. Yes, that's the color I want. Okay, so it's a nice light marshmallowy pink. It looks white maybe on the screen, but I promise you it's pink. Okay, I like doing the inside because when we do the outside, any pink that's gone over, we'll just go over that with the brown. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so some light pink. Okay, and now I'm going to jump into the darker pink. So take some red and still mix some white in there, but just not as much. Remember, it's got to be darker. So we don't want it to look like the bunny's ears are bleeding. Okay, you want to work quite quick because we want to blend that line in. So just use your finger, or if you have a clean brush nearby, you can blend it in. But I think my light pink has actually started drying, so I'm going to have to go in with the light pink again and just soften that up. So we don't always, but most of the time you want a nice smooth blend and not lines like that. So I'm just taking some of my light pink and I'm just going to blend that color because that should still be wet, and then you can still take your finger and see if you can't make it a bit softer as well. That looks a bit better, but I think that darker pink comes up a little further. Hey guys, what's also important is don't have a straight line, you know, just going like that. This is like a shadow, so you can see it's sort of going like that. Okay, it's not a straight cut off line. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that's the first one done. It's a little bit lighter than this one, so if you like the darker effect, you can definitely do that. I think over here I had some of my purple, so I'm gonna mix some blue into my red again and see if I can achieve that color. Maybe a tiny bit of white, and just, you see, you don't want it to look like the glasses now. Okay, but just have some dark there, maybe more red. Oh, but I kind of like that, but it's maybe a bit of red on top of that. So see, this is how you build your colors. Don't be afraid to, you know, bring in some more red. Oh, I don't like it. Okay, let me bring in some light pink again. You can definitely do that. You just need to decide, what do I need more of or what do I need less of. I do feel like it needs a bit of blue in there though. Oh, that's a little dark. Let's see. See, now I'm going too dark basically, you know, if that color looks right. Okay, guys, it's important to stand back from your paintings or to take a photo with your phone whenever you're in doubt, because sometimes if you look at something or you look at your painting for a very long time close, you start to not see little things that you could have fixed, and before you know it, it's too late, and then yeah, it's too late. Okay, I feel like this has gone too high, so I'm just going in with my light pink again, just taking some of that away. So this is what I spoke about earlier, is adding and subtracting. So basically subtracting some of that red or that dark color, so it's not too hectic. Okay, I quite like that. I think I'm going to move on now, otherwise I'm going to obsess about it. So that is something you'll learn as well, is just to know when to let it go. Let it go. Can't sing. Okay, so I've now started with the dark red. There's no light pink yet. Let me quickly make some more light pink. I'll get some orange in there, which is not right. Okay, let's see, there's my light pink. So this does look a little bit darker than my other light pink, but that's fine. Okay, so we just blend that in. Okay, I'm going to still work on I just want to make sure that this pink and that pink is the same. So I'm just going to quickly go over it with that pink again. Soften that up. Acrylic paint dries really quickly, guys, so you have to work quick, especially when you're blending. You want to work quick with the colors. But it will come with time. A lot of this is just practice, practice, practice. And you get better with practice, so just keep practicing. Okay, now we also need a little bit of that dark blue or dark purple. This just gives it a bit of dimension as well, so it's not so flat. I think that looks pretty good. It's just this red now. It's bothering me a little bit. That looks a bit better. Okay, although this is more light. It's lighter than this one. Okay, so I'm going to fix that quickly by just adding a lot more white to my pink. So it's just it's more candy floss pink than a marshmallow pink, I think. That looks a bit better. I think we've nailed it now. Okay, I am happy with that. We can always come back to it. So just be careful you don't obsess about a certain section and then you miss out on everything else. You can always come back to it and probably will. All right, for now, I want to concentrate on the texture of the bunny. So as you guys can see, this bunny is a lot lighter than this one, but basically it's more the hair that's making it look a little bit lighter. So what I'm going to do is, my brown is finished, I'm going to just mix another brown. So if you forgot how, it's just an orange with more black, not more black, but black added to it. Or you could add blue, but I think black is better in this case. Add some white. Okay, and I've got quite a nice brown that I'm happy with. Keep mixing until you're happy with the color. And then just remember, oh, I need that a little bit lighter. Add some more white. Let's see if that's gonna work. So remember, guys, my browns will look different because every time you mix colors, it's very hard to get them exactly the same. But they don't need to be exactly the same. It's fine if they're a little bit different. And then it's just up to you to decide, is it light enough to your liking, or would you like it a bit lighter? I've decided to add some more white in here. And now it's starting to pop, which is what I want. Okay, outlining this pink. It's basically outlining, but yeah, we say that word with caution because we don't like to outline in art. Okay. So that's basically just a highlight, and then we want some highlights here. So when you're painting in the highlights, you'll be changing it a lot. Like you're going to be moving between the dark brown and the light brown. So make sure you've got enough dark brown and light brown close by. because now you're going to be making the hairs. So you're going to start making some light hairs, and then you're going to be like, oh, but I need some dark hairs in there, and then you're going to bring in dark hairs, and you're going to be like, oh, there's too many dark hairs, and then you're going to bring in some light hairs again. That's perfectly fine. That's natural. It is part of the process. So don't worry about that. That is 100% okay. So for now, I'm just going to bring in all my light browns, just so that they are out of the way. We have got some inside the glasses as well. Don't forget about that area. And then, guys, when you bring it in over here, be mindful of the shape. So you want to do those sort of hair strokes in that shape. So this is your light brown, and you are curving your line. So you're curving it with the face. So the shape of the face. Okay, and they're all different lengths and sizes and thicknesses. That keeps it interesting. So don't feel like you need to make each line exactly the same. They need to be slightly different. Okay. Okay, so remember we are building on it, so on our bunny. So he is not 100% where we want him yet, but we're going to get him there. Okay, then in his body over here at the bottom, we want to add in some hairs. And this side, this just suggests texture, it just suggests that there are hairs there. Okay. This little part here underneath the bow tie is really dark, so I'm just going to go in with some black, maybe mix a tiny bit of my brown in there, so it's not black, but I think it's still going to be relatively dark. Oh, that looks black. Okay, and then just to show you guys, that's just going to make it stand out a bit more. And then there's dark, pretty much black underneath the chin, but if you're a little bit scared of black as is, mix it with some of your brown first, and then you can always go darker. Okay, and also here, I'm not painting one solid line, I'm also doing it sort of in hairs, because that black is basically just a shadow. Okay, and while you have that dark color, you can go ahead and put a few more dark hairs in between. Okay, also creating a bit of definition and yeah. We also have a few going out here. So I think they're a little more black, a little more brown, but I'll go in with some brown now. And then here at the top, it's quite dark. I think let's mix it with some brown, because I'm being way too brave now with this black. Okay, so a nice dark brown. So it almost looks black, but it's brown. And these are the hairs, guys. So I want to show you with your brush, you've got to make sure that it's got a nice tip, or that you are, when you're applying the paint, you are sort of flattening the brush. So if I can show you what that means, you're pressing it down. It's making a flat, or some people say a skinny point. Okay, and with that, you would normally go from inside outward. Okay, and you're just going to have some hairs, and to avoid that sort of effect, I'm just going to go and attach that to other hairs. I hope that makes sense. And then we just again bring that texture into the ear and make it seem like there's a whole lot of hairs on that ear. And then this side, and then here we also have a couple of hairs sticking out. So again, from inside outward, inside outward. If you feel like your hair is not defined enough, you can go over it Just be mindful of your pressure. Make sure that your pressure is really light, so you make a thin line and no thick lines, because they are hairs. We want them nice and thin. Okay, and then the other ear, you can do exactly the same. Just added white to my brown again, and I'm now just bringing in some of these lighter hairs just here and there again, just to get that lightish effect that I'm after. Okay, so also in the cheeks, and they could be all lengths, all sizes. It really doesn't matter. Keep it interesting. Okay, so that's nice and light. A little bit here by the eye. This side, we need to give that eye another coat, which we will, and then we're going to lighten the nose as well. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far and having tons of fun, and I hope it's making sense and that your bunnies are looking awesome. I can't wait to see them, so please do share them with me. Okay, I do have lighter sections here, but remember, you can alter your bunny in any way that you want. He doesn't need to look exactly like mine. I actually love it when my painters come up with different paintings to what I have. I just want to break that super light a little bit. Okay, you can also just add in 1 or 2 random lighter strokes there. Okay, I think we need to lighten the nose, but before I'm going to do that, I just want to do 1 more coat on the eyes, because I think we're going to need to do 3 coats. Guys, and remember, it also depends on your paint. With my paint, I feel like I need to give it 3 coats. It's up to you. If your paint covers really well, and you don't feel like it needs another coat, then yeah, you don't give it another coat. Okay, so just... and then when I do the final coat, I'll just go over the lashes. Okay, so that looks pretty. And now for the nose, this section here, you can see it has darker grey there and a bit of dark grey there, and then the rest is white. So I'm going to go in with my white first and just lighten up the areas that I want lightened up. Might need to give it a second coat. You also don't need to go white. You guys can have like an off-white, but this is just white that I picked up. Okay, then I've still got a bit of grey here. I'm gonna, let's see if that works. I think this is too light. Yeah. Okay, a little more black into my white. Okay, and also guys, you want to make sure you're blending properly here. We don't want to see any straight lines. I want it nice and blended. Okay, because that grey, the darker grey is like a shadow. See how nicely my finger blends that section over there. It's because the colors are still wet, so I'm able to, and I'm even pulling a bit of that grey into the white. That's fine. So I'm going to give it another coat. Okay, and already it's starting to get a bit of a form. It's starting to stand out a little bit, so it's not as flat. Okay, and then at the bottom here we have some white. I'm just going to soften up a little bit. So just all the way I've been using my medium brush. I normally just use the big one for big surface areas and then the small one for smaller surface areas. But yeah, at the end of the day, you got to see what you're comfortable with, and yeah, what you what you like most. Okay, I'm just bringing in some white again over the top there. Again, if it's too wet, you won't get the effect that you want. You'll need to wait for it to dry a little bit, because I can already feel bringing in more white over the wet white. It's not taking the way that I want it to. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes I just stop and then jump to something else. You can do that. Okay, and then just make sure you don't have a cut-off line. Maybe grab some gray. So you almost want it a bit tapered. So it goes up higher on the one side and low on the other side. Okay, with this again, guys, it's just a question of adding, taking away, playing with it until you get the effect that you like. I do think a lot of it has to do with the little black area that we need to put in. But before I do that, I just want to coat this again. I'm going to actually take some of my light brown, that light brown that we brought in for the hairs, and I'm just going to give it another coat. But if you want it more pink, you can definitely make it a little more pink. It's up to you what color you want to make your nose. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to add a bit of a highlight in there. Okay, so we've highlighted the one section, and now I'm just grabbing some black. I've made my brush thin or skinny, as you guys can see there. Okay, and now I'm just going to bring in these lines. So just, this does take some patience and concentration. So just take it easy, concentrate, work slow, and remember very light pressure. Pressure has to be light, otherwise you're going to have thick, broad lines. And if you've made it nice and thin, you can always go over and make it thicker if you feel the need to. But having it thin is a nice foundation. I do want these lines a bit thicker though. I quite like that. I think it looks good. I'm thinking that these two colors are just way too different. So I want to bring in an in-between gray just to soften that up a little bit. How does that? That's a bit better. Okay, and then this side. Guys, anywhere where you can see the canvas shining through, you need another coat, hey? And now I'm picking up some mouth colors here in my paints. Okay, and I just want to highlight that a little more. Okay, guys, we're nearly done. We've just got the bow tie and the glasses and the highlights in the eyes, and then we're done. So we're nearly there. Okay, so I want to blend in a little more. Guys, and as you paint with me, you're going to realize that you have a style. Don't fight it. I had some painters that had a really rough style that wasn't as detailed, wasn't smooth blending. Embrace it, okay? Don't feel the need to fight it. Don't feel the need to paint exactly the way I do. If you paint with a sort of a rough texture, that's perfect. That's perfect. As long as at the end of the day, if you're attempting to paint the bunny, it looks like a bunny, you know. Basically, that's all it comes down to. So yeah, if you notice that you can't really blend like I do, then maybe that's because it's not part of your style, you know. This grey is messing with me today. But here at Painter Thursday, we don't give up. We just keep trying and keep going because we know it's going to come right. Okay, so that looks good. I just want to see. I need a bit more light brown here. Yeah, guys, so basically you just keep playing with the area until you're happy with it. As you get more experience and do more of these, you will get better and you will know what to look for. So don't be hard on yourself if it's your first time and you're really struggling or, you know, anything like that. Just don't lose hope and just keep trying. I promise you it gets better. It really does. And then it really feels awesome. So, yeah. Okay. No, that's not working. Thought that would work, but it's not. Let's see if I can do one it a bit darker. Oopsie. And then some white again. So sorry guys, I'm jumping a little bit here, but it's whenever I see something else that's like bothering me, then I gotta touch it and see how I can alter it. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Let's do the glasses quickly. Okay, so basically the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do another coat of purple. So we're going to mix our red and blue. Get a nice purple. And then nothing fancy. I'm just going to literally go over the glasses. Add a tiny bit of white, just so you can see your purple. Okay, and I'm just going to give it a second coat. We're going to add in all the details in a minute. I just want to coat it one more time because there's some of the canvas that's shining through. You guys can see the little dots maybe. Okay, so we want to paint all those dots closed, those little white canvas dots. There was also a tracing line that I went over, so if ever you see tracing lines in your painting, it needs another coat. Can't leave it like that. Right guys, so we're done with the second coat. Basically what I'm going to do now is, as I mentioned earlier, we don't like outlining. So we're not going to outline, but as you can see in the finished painting, I have a few black lines here and there. So, okay, it does run around the top, but that's purple, not black. So you can have some black lines and have some purple lines, but I think that's just our second coat there. And then here and there, there's some highlights. So just basically what I want to say is make sure you don't outline it, but that you do add in some definite or defining lines here and there. And then we just add more white to our purple so that we can get a highlighted version of the purple. Okay. Right, I'm going to start with, actually, let me start with the highlights because I've got purple here and it might just dry out. So I've added more white to my purple. Now at the bottom of these glasses there are lines, so we're going to bring that in first because that gives it the idea that there's glass in these glasses. So just again a light pressure, very light pressure, and you want to make sure that you get a nice thin line at the bottom there. If it's not standing out enough, then you need a little more white. Okay, so that is for the line at the bottom. Then I'm going to wipe off my brush, add a little more, but this is sort of like a dry brush effect. So what I do, I load my brush and then I still offload some of it onto the towel paper, and then I basically just touch here and there. Because if you have too much paint, it's going to completely take over the purple, and we don't want that. We just want some highlights here and there. Okay. Just how the light is catching it or falling on it. Not really catching it, but falling on it. Okay, so now I'm going to get some black. I've cleaned off my brush, going to get some black, cleaned it off, dried it off. Acrylic paint doesn't like a lot of water, guys, so you don't want too much water on unless you're going for that effect. But yeah, we don't want a lot of water on our brush. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a few defining lines here and there just to define these glasses, especially over sections that you might not like, guys, where you felt you went out a little bit. And then my suggestion is work on the inside. Don't add another line on the outside because then you're going to make it broader. Okay. And again, unless that's the effect you're going for, it's not really something I recommend. So you guys can see I'm not outlining everything. I'm just adding in some defining lines. And if you're confused about what is the goal of the defining lines, if you feel at all anywhere that your glasses are getting lost, and you just need to sort of, how can I say, distinguish the glasses from, say, the bunny, that is where you're going to bring in some subtle defining lines. So it's not everywhere, it's just here and there. Okay, I think that's enough. Don't want to do too much. If you guys do feel like you've brought in way too much highlights, I just want to bring in a bit more here on that note. But if you feel anyway you've brought in too many highlights and they're sort of taking over your glasses, it's not a problem. You can just go into your dark purple and take some of the highlights away. Okay, so again, just that concept of adding and subtracting. I think I need another defining line over here. Remember, guys, at this point in your painting, you want to just stretch your legs, get some perspective. So step away from your painting or take a photo with your phone, and you'll possibly see things that you might want to change. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Now we have like a wash over the glasses so that it looks like glass. So the way you're going to do that is clean off your brush properly, wipe it down, and then you're going to take some of that I'm going to take this light purple. And guys, it's a wash, so make sure you dab your brush. You don't have too much paint on it, and very lightly you're going to go over the glass. It's fine if there's a bit of color, but yeah, you kind of want to give it like a blurred look. Mine's a bit darker for the camera so you guys can actually see the type of effect that I've got or that it's making. But yours should be more white than anything. So you can take your light purple, but if your light purple is not super light, rather work with a white. If you don't like it and it's still wet, you can quickly grab your paper towel and just wipe it down a bit. Maybe use some water and just, but you gotta work quick, guys, because the paint dries real quick. Okay, I want to add a bit of white there because I messed it up a little bit. Because if you did mess it up, because our background is white, you can add some white. So it's actually, you actually want to use a whitewash, so like especially here, so you can see that. Okay, then quickly before we forget, while we're busy with the white, just highlight in your bunny's eyes. We should have actually done that before, but it's fine. Do it afterwards. Okay, so we've got some highlights there, and then lastly we've got the bow tie. Oh, and then we've got the little white hairs here. So let's do that quickly. We are busy with the white. Those are white hairs. So again, you're going to do the same thing you did with the brown hairs and black hairs. Okay, so just from inside, sort of shooting outward. I really like how that actually changes the painting a little bit. Okay, and this side, again, you're going with the shape of the ear, so just be aware of that. Okay, then we've got the other one. Oopsie, too much paint. Okay, I think that looks awesome. Oh, and then we've got some beard hair as well, but actually we want to finish this. I think we should have some here though. Just some few white hairs coming out. So you guys can always look at your painting and be like, what does it need? Or do I want to change it in any way? And then, yeah, make the necessary changes. Okay, I like that. We're going to jump into the bow tie quickly. So basically, just a green again, but like this time, we got a nice vivid green. We don't add white at all. White makes colors chalky, and that's perfect for base coat. But for the second coat, we like it nice and vibrant. My red has gone into my yellow completely. Okay, so you want to add, with this green, it's more a yellowy green than an actual green. So if you want that nice lemon or lime sort of green, you're adding a lot more yellow to your green mixture. You can even add a touch of white just to highlight it. And I like to also go in the direction of the bow tie. So it makes it look like it's standing out a little bit. You guys can also make your bow tie any color, red, orange, purple, any color. It's up to you. Okay, now a touch of white into that green. Okay, and then you guys will see again, I've sort of semi-outlined it with blue. So I've literally just picked up the blue that I have, but you can mix it with some green and do like, say, a dark green outline, semi-outline. But I'm just going to do the same. I've got my blue and just here and there on an edge, just to define it a little bit. Okay, and over here. Okay guys, it's up to you. You can add more or add less. I want to actually just, this is just plain yellow. I haven't mixed it with anything. Just want to add a little bit, make it pop a bit more. Okay, and we are nearly done. It's just the little white beard hairs, and then I'm going to step away and see if I need to change anything. And okay, so here I have short ones and long ones. They're all different sizes. Okay, it keeps it interesting, and then I just paint in the edges so it doesn't look weird. Okay, and that's it guys. Let me just see if there's nothing else I want to change. You can always add in a little bit of a darker brown maybe, or a bit of a black. Just have a look where you need, where you feel like your painting needs it. And then most importantly, you've got to sign your artwork. So you guys can sign it anywhere, but I'm just going to, for the sake of this video so you can see it nicely, I'm going to sign it over here. A TP, oh my goodness, haven't done this in a while, I'm a bit rusty. TPA is how I'm going to sign it for the Painter Fair. Okay guys, so a lot of people sign at the bottom here in the left hand corner, either their initial or their first name and second name with the date, or just a date. It's up to you. And then others do it on the right hand side. Some people would do it like, say, in the ear or the glasses. You can really get creative and do it any way you like. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you so much for painting with me. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video, please share it with a friend that would love it, and please be sure to subscribe so you see more videos like this. Also, let me know what you'd like to paint, and let's see if I can make a tutorial about that. And yeah guys, enjoy your bunnies. Please tag us on Instagram at the Painter Fair SA, or even drop your photo of your finished painting in the comments below. Let me know who you did it with, whether you enjoyed it, and yeah, I can't wait to hear from you guys. Have a lovely day. Bye.